Hello everyone, welcome back to the 2021 Mania 4-Key World Cup Oceania. That is, I am Potassium F here, commentating with Juan Crystal. Hey there, Juan.
Hello, my man. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. We're here about to see what is the 16th versus the 17th seed. So, theoretically, by qualifier standards, this is what is deemed to be the closest match. Whether or not that is the case, we'll see, but they are overall pretty evenly matched, you would have to say, based on qualifier scores.
Oh, absolutely. We were checking the scores with Pont like a minute ago, like before the match started, and everything just looks so close between these two teams all over the place. You will argue that France maybe has a better advantage considering they have 6 players against 5, they have more backup, They have more versatility, I will argue, than Peru. But then you see the scores by Peru and you see Dasser, you see Kasumi. Those two players are monsters, especially early on. They are untouchable when it comes to consistency. And Juice and Miauri have both filled in fairly well as a third player for Peru. Of course, Kamiko filling in for the SV Pigs. They have a very solid squad. But against an experienced France, it's going to be a very tricky battle for them to fight.
Yeah, definitely. And like we said, the skill sets are actually pretty similar as well. We had both France and Peru doing really well on the SV Stage 1 and the LN Stage 4 being both teams' best maps. The main difference, I would say, between the two teams is, like you said, France do have the deeper roster, more versatility in their player selection, so they definitely have the ability to switch out players if they're not feeling up to it, or if there's certain maps that are potentially mind-blockable to one of the players, maybe another one can switch in. Peru, unfortunately, don't exactly have the same luxury. They do have 2 players in particular that I would expect to see on pretty much every map, being Dazura and Kasumi, who are definitely 2 of the star players in this roster for this year.
I will agree with that. Here we see the roles already. Peru lost the role, so they're going to be banning first. They are taking a moment. I will imagine they might want to go for some of the techie maps in the pool here against France. Perhaps a hybrid even, I'll say, might make some sense for them. They should probably avoid touching any of the SVs or longnose. They are their main weapons against this French team. And from the side of France, I wouldn't be surprised if they just ban runes or disconnected hyper. One of those two is usually the thing you want to ban against Peru. They had a very solid SV score as a team, and as I said, whoa, they're banning Harajuku Iyahoy instead
Interesting.
of Rice. Okay.
So Peru's Stage 4 was actually really good, but at the same time, France was 5th in their Stage 4, so banning against France's strengths is not a bad idea, definitely. And France going with the disconnected hyper ban, banning the SV away from Peru, who definitely would have wanted to pick that at some point. But now France immediately going for 7, so we're getting a little bit of an LN map here from France. LN hybrid, you would say. And France definitely very competent with their hybrids.
Yeah, it has been their strength in previous Mania World Cups. I remember France is a team that actually got to play scrims a lot against them back on last year's Mania World Cup. For some reason, we just happened to play a bunch of matches, of practice matches, and their hybrid potential is super good, especially early on. I remember them having extremely good scores on maps like Exhibit, which was considered one of the hardest hybrids in the group stage pool last year. And this one, it has the similar vibe, this long node hybrid thingy, where players like Saiken and Koidex are just going to shine. And they were not playing last year, as far as I remember. They had a more competent roster when it comes to late game, but early game, Koidex and Saiken are just as good, if not better. So this is going to be a very hard map for Peru to stand a chance.
these are some insanely scary players early game for France. Very well-known tournament players at that. So we're getting into the map now. It looks like there's a bit of a decent issue going on here. We're going to wait for Juice to load in.
Yeah, it seems like he has not been able to connect to the lobby, so this might be an award and a replay for this map.
Very solid 0% scores across the board. Scores evenly tied.
Yo, that's true.
Whoa, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is an award, but I wouldn't know. We'll have to check for the referee. I'm pretty sure Kasumi actually stopped playing at some point and told the referee, hey, we're having some issues, considering his accuracy at least. And the same comes for Psyche. Okay, actually now it's syncing up. Never mind.
Everyone's fine now. But we're currently unsure on what the situation is with Juice. What we do know is, however, that Koidek seems to have taken a little bit of a hit in accuracy compared to the other 4 players that we can see. But Aura and Dazra are definitely holding really strong in their accuracy.
The fact that Koidek actually had a miss early on makes this a map that Peru would have taken, right? Like, if they just had a triple full combo here with the accuracies that they have,
yeah, you're actually right. It all depends really on whether or not Juice is playing the map right now. It's not really any way for us to know. But this could definitely be a chance for Peru to snag an early breakpoint if there is that triple FC like you were talking about, because the accuracies from Dazra and Kasumi and Aura and Zayken are all perfectly even. So all Juice needed to do was
they need
FC.
a 980k. They need a 980k plus. That's it. If Juice got that, then that's it. That's a win for Peru. But it seems like he is not playing, and he has not played at all. Peruvian internet attacking once more, unfortunately. I wonder what's going to happen here. He has not played at all.
The MP link right now is not updating, so we'll have to stand by for the final call in the end.
We might have to pull out our calculators and see what's up. But apparently he has not submitted, and he has not played at all. So and there's this. Oh, it's not the C. Never mind. It's just a panic button. I don't. I just think he did not connect, and that's it. He never connected, and he has not played the map.
Still loading into the map eternally. That would be really unfortunate, but either way, it does seem like at the current moment the point will probably be going to France then.
Yeah, I would expect so.
But pretty really unfortunate for Peru, because that was a really winnable point given the scores that we saw.
Yeah, we're just as confused as you are, guys. There is no way to tell what's happening on Juice's side, and this appears to be, yep, there it is. There is a disconnection. And they won by exactly 981,000 points. So as I said, they needed a 982-ish to win the map here.
982 definitely possible from Juice.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Koidek's got that score and he missed. So
with
an FC, that was definitely
But we have no way to know for sure, because there was no map played from Juice, apparently. Okay, so unfortunate missed opportunity from Peru there, but it was France's pick, so not the end of the world. It's not a break point just yet, and Peru have their own opportunity to be able to tie it up 1-1. I do think they will be wanting to get Juice back into the lobby if the connection issues clear up, though. Because as we said before, there isn't the deepest roster for Peru, so every player they need to be available.
I will assume that at this point they could go for runes, though, because if they go for ruins, they don't need Juice for it, right? Kamiko will probably be filling the third player spot. Although I don't remember if Kasumi actually played the SV map on the qualifier. I'll have to check.
I don't
that.
think they did. I think it was Dazro, Kamiko, and one of the other players.
Oh, it was Meowdy as well. So yeah, they should have the 3 players to play the SV map and wait until Juice comes back. But
They have
Juice
a very small roster.
He has been the main player on long notes and hybrids in general, so kind of need him. He also did really well on stage 7, so it's a very important player for Peru.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens, but for now, as you said, there is of course Ruins up on the table for Peru to pick right now, and I think it is definitely a good one.
Seems like there are some technical issues with Juice. I think he's posting some pictures on the tournament server. Apparently, he seems to have the game minimized and not being able to to maximize it.
Oh no!
Which is funny.
I guess that would mean the client crashed in a way.
Probably.
But Peru is still thinking for a long time about their next pick. Maybe they're focusing a little bit too much on trying to get Juice back into the match.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're just worrying a little bit too much about him. And yeah, there's Dazzler saying that he's supposed to crash and he's not picking, even though he should be picking.
They don't have many seconds to pick before they get their pick randomly selected. Any second now, this timer is going to run out, and we're going to get the roll.
I'm pretty sure the timer already did run out, but we'll see. I mean, I'll find it understandable if a player just actually crashed to give it a little bit more time to pick, but
yeah, that is true.
Rules as written.
But we'll see what ends up being picked.
And
there is a 6.
Like
what is
Pandora?
The 6? Pandora?
I think that's Pandora Paradox. Yep, it is.
Interesting. Well, it's hard to tell which picks are good and which picks are bad, other than Ruins, honestly, because, as we said before, both of these teams share pretty similar skill sets all around, but I would have thought that France would be the ones to go for the hybrids in general. So this is potentially
I mean, this isn't a bad pick,
France's.
I guess, but yeah, France would probably pick this.
There's no terrible picks, I would say. So there's no game-losing picks. It's not like Japan being forced to pick LN or anything like that. But it's something that France would have potentially picked themselves later. So it's not the best, you would say.
Honestly, I don't think this is that bad for Peru. If they have a Juice, they might be able to hold on to this, especially considering that France choked on the previous hybrid. I can see Peru having a 3-way FC on this.
That's true. That's true. France did choke a little bit there, but that is a big if that we did mention. If Juice is managing to get in. So we will have to see if that.
Are we doing runes?
We're doing runes? We're doing runes?
I think it's just the whole team of Peru having connection issues right now.
That would be very unfortunate.
Yeah, that will be understandable. Unfortunately, we have had these issues in the past, especially with the South American countries.
Yeah, quite a few countries. Both Southeast Asian and South American countries experience this from time to time, I feel like. But in any case, it does seem like Ruins was picked in the end. potentially tried to be typed in chat but didn't quite go through because of connection issues before. But either way, this is the pick that we said would be very good for Peru, and we're getting the SV team coming in immediately here.
Yeah, we're just missing Dazzler here, and we have it.
Yeah, Kamiko and Miauri Chesu. And we're getting the SV players from France in as well. We've got Elementaires, who has been playing SV for France for a while, I'm pretty sure. Quite a few World Cups. And we've got Juicin. So interesting to see actually Dazzler not on Peru's team for this.
That's pretty weird. Honestly, not seeing Dazzler on a map for Peru, that's like handicapping yourself.
Dazzler is for Peru basically the hyper carry for every single map there is. I don't think there is really any map that Dazzler wouldn't be able to do at this stage in the tournament. But it doesn't look like he's swapped in now though. So we are getting the original SV team for Peru. Seeing the two Koidex and Elementaires in for France, and we'll have to see how this turns out. Peru did have a very slightly higher stage 1 score in qualifiers, but we'll see how that ends up translating to this because they are very different maps, of course. There's much more.
So far, so good. Kamiko's holding 100%. Oh, 200 by Dazzler, though. Oh.
200 by Dazzler, but still holding... Wait, that's not the 200, surely.
Yeah, he had
99.8.
Pretty sure, right?
99.8 with a 200 is pretty...
No, I said Dazzler. Dazzler is 99.5.
Oh, he's in a different place now. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad. But overall, it seems like Peru has a very slight accuracy lead here. Elementaires kind of matching Dazzler, but Kamiko is the one that's holding well above everyone else in the lobby, who's really solidifying a small lead. We are still early on into the map, though. Plenty left of it.
Seems like Elementaires from France is having the most issues here. Struggling to hit this unsynced visually patterns. He's holding a lot of normal 300s all over the place, but this section is more consistent. He should be able to do a little bit better here. So is Dazzler, actually. Both are having difficulties reading this throughout. And apparently France is starting to pull ahead here. Check the accuracies. Paros is tied with Kamiko, and Koidex is essentially tied with Miauri as well. So it comes down to Dazzler and Elementaires here, and they are very close to each other.
Dazzler is slightly going ahead. Oh, but Kamiko dropping a lot of accuracy down to 99.7. Not that much in strict terms, but when the scores are this close, couple 200s there, that's going to cost you the lead.
I don't like this client stuttering, though. You can see now the difference. Oh no, I knew it!
Is this Kamiko having a little bit of internet connection issues? Potentially. We're 2/3 of the way into the map, so if it is a disconnect, it's much too late. But Miauri finding a miss. That's a massive miss. This is not a map that anyone you would expect to miss on, especially from the French side. We see Koidex getting a 200, but unless a player from France misses, there's not really any chance of Peru coming back in this map anymore, and I don't really see anyone from France missing for the rest of this map.
There it is, to see.
That is the disconnect coming in, unfortunately. It looks like France will be solidified, but unlike the previous map, I would say there's probably no way, even with the third player, that Peru was going to win this with that miss.
Yeah, we're seeing now the M feeling the difference. The map has concluded, and you can see there's about 1 million points of difference in between these two, even higher than that. So regardless of the score by Kamiko, this was gonna be a win for France. And as you can see on the ratios as well, that overall, France had the better accuracy. 74 normal 300s for Patos, and Koidex tied with the other two Peruvians. So essentially, France had this on the bag regardless.
Yeah, very unfortunate disconnect, but at the end of the day, it is going to be France taking it 2-0 up over Peru. That one, at least, the disconnect didn't decide the match. It was more about that miss. So France 2-0 up, looking pretty good with the first two maps so far. Hopefully these internet connection issues obviously resolve somewhat for Peru. But France have their own pick now, and we've seen two hybrids. Oh, no, we don't. We've seen one hybrid, one SV.
And now we're Long Note.
Long Note. Todestride. An old French player, that is.
Oh, that's true, yeah. I remember I played against him on Rhythm Rivals. He has not played in a while, though.
So we're going straight into long notes now, and this is definitely France's most notable strength that they showed in the qualifiers, getting 5th place on Kaleidoscope.
I will argue this map is nothing like Kaleidoscope, though. It's more like Gario Tensei in some ways. Of course, it's so much easier and less tricky overall. Like, it doesn't have this this tricky release pattern, or not the release patterns, rather coordination patterns that on the ending that are super hard to combo through.
Yeah, much more density focused than Kaleidoscope was, but closer in difficulty to Kaleidoscope than it is to Gario Tensei. We are going to see Juice coming back in, and we're seeing Kasumi and Dazero, so the three that you would expect to see most of the time for Peru back in the lobby, and we're seeing Aura and Zayken coming back in for France. So we'll have to see how both teams fare on this slightly easier density-focused LNs in Todestrad.
Well, as it stands right now, it seems like everything is stable. We shall start then with this map. The third map picked this time around, and is, as you said, Toadstripe. And of course, Juice is not connecting again.
Okay, no, we got this. We got this.
Do we though? Okay, yeah, we do.
Yep.
Let's go. There he is. He's playing, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to. Oh my god, the hit sounds. Oh, my head.
Big hit sounds. Big hit sounds. Okay, let's see. So far, it looks like Peru is... No? Okay, they're basically dead even in accuracy. Kasumi actually dropping a lot of accuracy just there, 99.4. Not off to the best of starts here. All of France holding 99.7s, high 99.7s at that.
Yeah, Kasumi's just rushing a lot on this map, and I'm not sure why, but he's hitting so early. You can see the hit concentration over there, and that's costing him a lot of accuracy, a lot of regular 300s and eventual 200s as well. And considering that their opponents is France, they need to fix that issue throughout this map, otherwise they wouldn't be able to, even with a miss, to recover from this.
Yeah, this act needs to get higher, but it's just going down and down for Kasumi. It looks like the only saving grace right now for Peru is Dazero being the highest score in the lobby right now. But Juice is also falling a little bit behind the French team, and we can see all of France's scores are all really similar to each other right now, holding consistent 99.7, 99.8 across the board.
We're entering this more denser section here, more breaky, denser section. We have this 3-node jump drills. Can be a bit tricky to hit, but nobody seems to have any issues with it. No drops so far, which is surprisingly, considering this is one of the hardest, well, actually the hardest long map, I will say, on the board when it comes to combo. Into this,
it looks like this
combination section seems like everyone's holding just fine.
Yeah, the accuracy is not really changing too much for any particular player, and because of that, France is going to maintain their lead, and they're going to be able to take their 3rd point here on the LN map.
Very solid team score, like from France. Everybody is holding above the 990k, and that's really, really good. Double S here
Scorpion
by Laura.
SS.
Yep. Not the best ratio, though. Koidex having the prize for that in the French team, although Dacero showing everybody why he's the monster he is, topping the lobby here with 994.9k, only 200s. And as I said, here the problem here was mostly on Kasumi's ratio, who was rushing a lot. If we see like his hit concentration right here, we'll probably be able to notice that he was hitting very early. And then the 200 counts all over the place here for Juice and Kasumi. Because of the rushes, a lot of 200s on this is pretty much a guarantee thing if you're rushing. France, at the end, will take this point and another break point, in fact. So,
no, that was France's own point.
Wait, was it?
Yep. So France was the one who picked Toad Strap.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's only one break point. It's not the end of the world for Peru. They need to win. Okay, they have to win all of their own picks now, and they just need to win one break point later down the line. So there's no more LN maps. The LN-focused hybrid map is out of the way, and there's no more SV maps. So most of the remaining pool is going to be Rice.
Whoa, okay, Peru's picking Pandora, which is what got rolled in the previous time.
Yep, okay. So this is going to be what is picked after all in the end by Peru. So we're still avoiding this the pure Rice section entirely, it seems, from both teams. Neither team is interested in battling it out in accuracy there.
It's interesting to know, now that we don't have warm-ups anymore, the fact that we had a match with a lot of trouble here and it is maybe like halfway through and we still have a half an hour until the next one, that's cool. Warm-ups ate so much time back then. I missed them a little bit, they were very funny sometimes.
Yeah, they could be very funny. Definitely, but it is good at being able to get through the match in time as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes then Pandora Paradox, there it is. I have troubles reading as of late, I have no idea why. It's not Pandora Paradox, it's Pandora Paradox, I guess.
The long X sound,
yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, and this of course being definitely the more Rice-focused hybrid map out of the three. The LNs in this, not really, you wouldn't say anywhere as tricky as they are in 7.
Oh no, definitely not.
So
not even close.
Very likely not going to be seeing any kind of LN accuracy difficulties like we saw in the previous map. So definitely more in the comfort zone of Peru, and we'll see how they manage to fare against France. Seems like we've only had one substitution in for 2s. Right out of the gate, we've got some exceptionally high accuracy starts here for France especially, 99.9 across the board for all 3 players, but Peru's keeping up as well.
Yeah,
everyone with really solid starts here. But it'll be later in the map when we'll see those drop a little bit.
Yeah, this Grace's pattern, this bursty patterns as well are a bit tricky to get good accuracy. As you can see, even Dacero is struggling pretty hard on them, and the whole Peruvian team as well. While France is maintaining themselves above the 99.80, and now with a miss.
Miss.
Oh, but that's a trade.
Aura trades it back. Okay, so the combo's evening out a little bit, but Kasumi did tank the accuracy just a little bit more than Aura did. So the accuracy lead in France's favor is going to keep them in the lead right now, and Kasumi missing again.
On the reverse shield, or the shield rather. He had to release the first column long note and hit one note right afterwards, and he struggled with that when he found the miss there.
So Peru now definitely relying on France to find a miss very soon, as soon as possible, because France now holding that combo lead and the accuracy lead. Still holding really strong accuracy, even on Aura, who missed. Holding that 99.7.
Only a third of the map remaining, make it a quarter now. And France is looking very good for this one. They're holding exceptional accuracies, as you said. Even with the miss from Aura, it doesn't even look like he did. You compare his score with Dazzler, and they have pretty much the exact same accuracy, and that's the best player from Peru. And we're talking about a miss here. So France will need a big drop here for Peru to catch up.
There's only a few bursts left. There has to be a triple miss right now.
It's not happening, man. France is going to take the fourth one, another break point for themselves, and there will be a match point. What was arguably the closest match when it comes to seeding. Apparently, France just has it. The tournament experience. This last verse, even though it's the trickiest, finds no difficulty for any of these players. They will all combo through it. And the ratios actually were fairly similar. It's just that the 200 counts and overall consistency from France was way too much for Peru to handle here. 990k, 991 for Peru against 993 and 994. And then the two misses just so much better on the side from France here, from Aura.
That will be match point now, Peru. This is going to have to be the start of a reverse sweep if Peru want to bring it back. And yeah, France just needs to win one. They have the next pick. And I think, funnily enough, the last hybrid is still up. And France have been performing quite well on the hybrids.
Is this the anti-rice spray?
I think this might be the anti-rice match.
I'm okay with it. So you're saying we're gonna see some destruction?
I'm saying that there's a pretty good chance. I don't think France... I mean, the match has been going so well for them now, there's not really any reason for them to throw in a new type of map, right?
So what if they pick Axel Grinder and just...
I mean, they could.
Make it 100% pick rate, as it has been noted on the chat. I believe it's the only map that has been picked in every single matchup. This might be the first time we are not seeing it. And they're picking Iterated instead, okay.
So it's going to be Iterated, okay. So we are going to see Rice for the first time here. And we'll see if this changes something in Peru. If they maybe find their comfort a little bit on the Rice maps rather than on the hybrid maps that they seem to be struggling just a little bit on. That said, France definitely no slouches in their jump stream.
Okay, we're seeing Azover now joining the lobby. Makes a lot of sense for this kind of maps. And they're gonna stick with Pathos and Aura. This is like the team that I expect France to be using for late game in general, other than maybe Longnuts, where Saiken and Koidex could potentially fit in. So we will see what France is capable of. They have such good accuracies on previous maps that it's probably gonna be the same when it comes to Rise here. Although Peru, you know, they have Juice, who had a very solid score on stage 7. And Kasumi and Dazzler are both exceptional players as well. So we will see if this actually works out for France or not.
Yeah, well, they do have a buffer even if they do lose this. But on the Peru side, of course, Peru has to win every map from now on. And it starts with the first one. Nothing is out of the question if Peru manages to win this because there are no more LN maps in the pool.
Yeah, that's true. Like, they just have the hybrid, really. If Peru wins this and they establish that they are the better team when it comes to Rise and they can hold their consistencies together, there's still chance and there's still hope for Peru to catch up and recover and potentially force a tiebreaker. But then France still has the last hybrid remaining, so it's going to be a pretty tight uphill battle.
Right now, the accuracies are dead even. Dazzler is actually pulling ahead along with Patuz, tying each other's accuracies a little bit. Azuber and Juice are both tying each other's as well. Aura is just a tiny bit ahead of Kasumi though. And Kasumi finds a miss. Oh, and Iterated. This is a short map as well. Unless there's a miss coming out from France. This is not looking too good for Peru. But Kasumi right now just needs to focus on building back up that accuracy so that if there is a miss from France, they have to be able to capitalize on it.
So far, as you said, the accuracy are very close. I still think this favors France even with a miss, so they will need a little bit of an accuracy drop as well if they want to recover here. Half of the map remaining, and chances for Peru are fading a little bit. This is a map that you can easily tunnel vision throughout the entirety of it. You have this break to recover your mental a little bit, but after this it's just jump streaming all over again once more. And here it comes. Will we see another miss? Will France be able to hold this lead and take this match? The clean sweep for the closest match when it comes to seeding.
And all France need to do is hold on to these combos. They have 3 full combos still. We're reaching towards the end of the map. If there isn't a miss soon, then it will just be too late for Peru to come back.
I'm very interested to see the end results here. I believe France is going to take this one, but I want to see what would have happened without that miss from Kasumi. Would have been a chance. And as the MP Link spoiling us, this has been a win for France. Map and match point for them. They win it all. And in ratio, it seems like they were just overall better, unfortunately, for Peru.
Yeah.
I believe without that miss, it would have still gone towards the French side, although a lot closer.
Would have been quite close, especially with those 200s from Azuber and Petuz. But in the end, France are going to take the match 5-0. Clean sweep, a really solid performance from them, really showing their tournament experience and in general that roster depth, managing to sub out a lot of their players for each map. But unfortunate for Peru with those connection issues at the start, but they will be going down into the losers bracket. They still have a chance. They're still in the tournament, but they will play in the losers bracket from next week onwards. So congratulations to France. I believe France are versing the winner of the upcoming match of USA versus Belgium.
That will be correct, yes. They will be facing either number 1 or number 32 seed.
So USA being the favorites in that match, clearly.
Yeah.
And Peru is going down to the losers bracket to verse the loser of that match.
Yep. This, in general, round of 32 is decided that way. You face the 2 winners face each other, and the 2 losers face each other as well in the same side of the bracket, unless some shenanigans happen. That's usually the way it works. And for now, I think, what are we missing? We're missing still a couple of matches. We're still missing, I think there's 4 more matches, right?
Yeah, just 4 more matches. I think they're all going to be in this block, actually. 1 match in 22 minutes, and the other 3 matches all at the exact same time an hour later.
Yep, so, I don't remember which match we're streaming. I will assume it's Chile versus Netherlands, although I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to recheck. So yeah, I'm getting confirmation from the other side of the world that it is gonna be Chile versus Netherlands. So we're gonna see UK Colombia right in 22 minutes, as Pot said. Hopefully, we're not having this technical difficulties again. It's actually funny, right? We're gonna have 2 South American countries playing in the next 2 matches, so hopefully that's not a problem.
Hopefully.
I think
you always hate to see it.
But yeah, it's always lame. Regardless of situation, if you're the players, it is very stressful situation. If you're the opponent, it's also a lame situation. You want the other team to be the best they can and have a fair match. But sometimes that's what happens, and we can't really do much about it. That's just the way it is. Sometimes internet doesn't want to be cooperative, and that's just an internet thing.
Maybe in the distant future we hold international lands. We fly everyone into the same location.
That will be sick. I don't think it's gonna happen, but that will be
in the
sick.
distant future, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out. But for now, 20 minutes until the next match. Stay tuned. Go grab yourself a drink of water in the meantime. And we'll see you then.
make you fall from the dreamy skies. Suddenly the deepness can't get through. Realize I'll fall along with you, and we're looking into cold green eyes.
feel the evolution. All my time no longer frozen. I'm leaving all the door. I don't know who I will become, but I know what I want more than ever before. Outside, I'm gonna stay no longer blind. I will rise above the state of I can feel the evolution. All my time no longer frozen. I'm leaving all the door. I don't know who I will become, but I know what I want more than ever before. I'm gonna stay no longer rise above the state of mind.
Greetings, user. Neural link established. Ready for takeoff.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again for more action of the Osumania 4K World Cup 2021, and we are seeing number 2 seed United Kingdom facing number 31 seed Colombia. In an amazing match once more for the round of 32, we are starting to reach the conclusion of the stage, and I myself, Juan Crystal, will be commentating this alongside Davi. Davi, how are you doing?
Oh, hello there. I'm doing fine. But yeah, we're almost done with the round 32 matches. We have like one more match, and then we have the showcase, so stay tuned for that. Not a lot to say about this match in particular, but we do have United Kingdom, which is a very strong team, and Colombia, which I believe is kind of new into MWC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's true. They are one of the teams that are debuting this year. I don't think they have played before on the Mania World Cup. They have played on other World Cups. I remember a very amazing run they had back in a long time ago on CWC. I think they got third in a mixed team between Colombia and Argentina. Pretty miraculous run over there, back on the Belper K era, I think it was. So other than that, I don't think there's a team that has much tournament experience, and definitely not in Mania. This is their first appearance, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Wait, did the guy just roll 2 times and got the same 2 results? That's insane.
It might just be a duplicated message.
Yeah, probably.
If not, that would been like a 1 out of 1,000 chance of that happening.
Oh boy. We see both of the vans already, and they are both the SV maps, so both runes and Disconnect the Hyper ruled out of the table. Here, UK will be having the first pick this time.
So it looks like we're going for a SV-less match. I'm sorry, Walter, Orca, Baturgus, but it's going to be without SVs. And they're going for, hold on, yeah, it's United Kingdom, Britain going for the iterated pick, which is one of the speed jump stream pick. It's not very long, but it will certainly test like pure accuracy. It's one of those maps where accuracy will be very rewarded.
Absolutely. We saw this on the previous match as well between France and Peru. It came down a little bit to the wire. We had a miss from Peru, and that actually killed a little bit the momentum. But these accuracies between the two teams were very close together. I have to recheck how good Colombia did on the later stages, although this is a little bit easier than stage 7. This is way slower. It's more of a consistency test if you can do stage 7. But nonetheless, it's also very easy to just tunnel vision through it and miss at some point. Sometimes you can even mind block this kind of pattern. So we'll see if the UK has what it takes to be consistent on it and not let Colombia run away with a 3-way FC.
Funny thing about this map, when we were picking maps, I believe we had this map on rate 1.05 at first. So it could have been a bit faster than that.
Yeah, 105 is like 222, right? It's like...
Yeah, it's very fast.
Yeah, it's pretty fast, I'll say. I think this speed is good enough. Most teams should be able to FC this, and they should be able to do it fairly well, but the expert teams, when it comes to like sharpshooting accuracy and overall jump stream capabilities, they will be getting really insane ratios, and we have seen that on France, on the previous map, and the previous match specifically. We're probably going to be seeing the same here for the UK. We'll see if they can hold their combos. It's mostly just a combo thing early on, and consistency is going to be the key factor between these two teams in maps like this.
Oh, definitely. UK side is really strong when it comes to maps like this. I'll be expecting a very, very high team score coming into this, unless someone gets an unlucky miss. And also, I was going to ask you, what seed was Colombia again?
I think Colombia was seed 31, right? Because if UK is seed number 2, that they should be facing seed 31.
Yeah, they're very much the underdogs then.
Absolutely. They barely qualified, but it's good. They are debuting, so it makes sense. They still missing a little bit of tournament experience. We'll see if they can prove that they deserved it here against such an amazing team that is the UK.
So far, so good. Most of the UK team holding a bit over 99.90. Wait, what is it? Oh yeah, Fusion already misses, but yeah, UK is holding around 99.97 on average. They're slowly dropping a bit, but it's not too much. It looks very comfortable for them right now.
Yeah, these accuracies are huge. Every single player in the UK right now holding a 99.96, and some of them even pushing beyond that. And on the Colombian side, it's mostly Alexito who's holding the combo together. Now we see a miss from Narusa as well. So it's 2 misses against none, and Colombia is gonna be fighting an uphill battle here in this first pick. They're struggling a little bit. And when it comes to accuracy, they're just way behind as well. They're around 2% of difference between these two teams at the moment. Maybe a little bit less than that, but still it's huge. And 2 misses as well. Not good news for the Colombian side.
Yeah, while at 99.75 is nothing to like scoff at, it's versus the UK, you can't afford that accuracy, and it looks like everyone on Colombia's side is missing very randomly. Even though the misses are very clean, it looks like they're having a bit of a stressful experience, I'd say. It's probably the nerves, as you were saying, they're very new, while the entire UK roster here is very experienced when it comes to tournaments. So they're probably more calm and collected, let's just say. And then 92995.
What is this team score by the UK? Young, what is wrong with you, man? 999k on this? That's insane. And hell, if you sum up literally every single 300 that the UK got, they still have less than the best player of Colombia.
Yeah, it's going to be rough for them. I'm expecting, wouldn't put it past them to, hold on. I can definitely see UK just taking the sweep here, but I don't want to be considered too biased or whatever, so hopefully Colombia can do something, well, at least give us a show or whatever.
Seems like there was a PB by Jonk here, so interesting. First time they're getting a 990k, and that's huge. That's a huge score over there. Overall, the UK did so well.
Yeah, the overall team score was like the best I've seen in NWC so far, 2021 at least.
I'll have to check, right? Has that been well, it's probably not the highest score in Interrated, but it's definitely very close.
Yeah, I imagine so. I haven't been keeping up with every match. I've been like kind of sick today, so I've been just laying around in bed. So I haven't kept up much. However, let's see what Colombia decides to pick. We might see them go for more of a alien approach. I'm not sure like where the strengths are
either. Here, I mean, you kind of can't pick Rice against a team that got such an insane ratio overall, so they're gonna go for a hybrid here. Destroy. The happy end is gonna be their pick. So more like a middle ground hybrid pick here. It's not so LN heavy as Evan, and it's not as Rice oriented as Pandora, so the middle ground of the hybrids it is at the end of the day.
Destroy. Okay, let's see both of these teams destroy. Right.
Oh my god. I mean, honestly, I expect at least one team to destroy this map.
Yeah. At least one. It's good for content if it's both.
Oh, it would be great, yeah. Well, we have seen Alexito doing really well on the previous jump stream picks, so if they can find a map that they can play like consistently as a team, then they might have some chances if the UK finds some misses or two. We've seen a Go as well, who's going to be replacing Narusa on this one. We have the same roster though on the side from Colombia, and the UK we see two substitutions, Young and Poe Gadget, will be replaced by Eliminate and Ting momentum. So Newson is the only one staying for the British side. And we'll see
surprised.
how well they can do.
Yeah, we'll see how well they can do. I'm surprised that Pope exited because I thought he would do very well on this map. But I suppose maybe eliminating Ting does better, or they just wanna play, or whatever. Can be any reason.
Yeah, they might just want to give Pope a break on this specific map for whatever reason. And overall, I think the UK can afford to swap their players, maybe kill some of the nerves that they might have tournament-wise. Eliminate a Ting had not played before, I think. At least Ting, I don't think I saw on previous Mania World Cup. So at least to give him some experience, so when it comes to the wire, when they actually need him to show up, he will be less nervous or have more experience.
And another thing to note about this map is that...
Wait, are we seeing Fade In?
Are we? Oh, that's
What?
I've not seen that mod ever before, I'll be honest.
Wow. And he seems to be a Fade In main, oh boy.
Oh, that's a unique breed, I'll just say. And that scroll speed, that's just so slow.
Yo, I'm hyped now. Oh,
Let's
there's a miss on
go.
the fusion, unfortunately. On another one on the long notes.
Yeah, it keeps rushing a lot, it seems. Oh,
Newson
news
as
and
well.
finding some of this. Yeah. So what I was going to mention about this map is that it is pretty consistency heavy, all things considered. Like, I'd say the most consistency demanding the hybrid, because of it's both a bit on the longer end, like 230. I think it's
on the other side, yeah. For this pool at the least.
yeah. Most maps
Those
are
hands.
actually.
Those hands though, where we saw the misses from the fusion and Newson, those are really tricky hands. Those triples on releases with shields, they are super tricky to hit properly. And we saw Newson choking, we saw the fusion choking a lot. And at the moment we're seeing a goat topping the lobby here for Colombia. Even despite the fade in mod, he's doing really well for himself. And on the other side, the UK is holding their ground really well as well. Newson, even though he had the miss, is holding the higher accuracy.
Yeah, he's holding higher accuracy than Ting momentum, despite having a miss. Well, this won't be reflected in the final scoring. Ting momentum if he keeps up the FC, that is. Newson still keeping such an insane accuracy. Like, he's good on pretty much every kind of map, especially like maps around this level. And we're getting to some of the jump trill shenanigans too. Might see a bit of rushing here and there. Or what I like to call hand lag. Sometimes your hands, when you're just jump trilling, one hand just lags slightly behind and then whatever.
Yeah, that's the ending. It's a point for the UK after all. They won the map by about 45,000 points. We see the very clean full combo here by Ago with the fade-in mod. His ratio a little bit low compared to the rest of the lobby, but still an impressive full combo with that mod. And again, UK just dominant as they usually do. 200s for each, other than Newson, who had a miss, but an insane ratio.
Yeah, that ratio really is outstanding on this kind of map. Like 1 to 10 ratio on this map is very, very good. I wonder if that's like one of the better ratios we've seen on this map. I haven't seen actually Destroy played a lot.
Yeah, it's not a very popular pick. I feel out of all the hybrids, it's probably the one we've seen the least.
Yeah, I have that feeling too. Let's see. I might go for something like Axel Grinder, considering their performance on Iterated. I think that would be the best pick for the UK right now. They could also go for Gaspard de la Nuit. Or, you know, Mage map, of course, I never said DNB. Oh, they're actually going straight for another Rise map, the Diamante. That's interesting. I would have thought they'd 100% go for Axel Grinder.
I was expecting the same as well, but this probably makes sense if they want to sub in Suvin. So again, the same strat as before, right? Trying to give everyone a little bit of play time so they can ease their nerves on the rest of the tournament. So
that's pretty smart. They just rotate players. And I think Newson has been in it for a while because, well, he's pretty well known as just an outstanding tournament player overall. He's very well-rounded, has all kinds of skill sets in his fingers, keyboard, and he does well under pressure. Although there was some points during like a soft 5 match where he got himself a bit of unlucky misses and I think went all the way to a tiebreaker. I don't remember which map it was. Against who it was. But that's the thing I remember. So did you think Colombia will be subbing any players?
I don't know. I think that Colombia did look very well with this roster for the previous map, but this is more techy, so I think it's fine to keep the same roster. I'm not sure. That's what you were asking, right?
I was asking that. Ago probably. I'm not sure about keeping Aga in because it seems like his ratio wasn't the best, and when it comes to maps like this, you really want to maintain a high ratio.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're risking a full combo for ratio, it's probably not worth it. Because I guess a team like the UK, you need a 3 full combo. You're not going to out accuracy them. You're not going to out ratio them. So
yeah, you're just banking. Sorry. It's just that you're hoping for them to miss. But yeah, it looks like they're subbing out Ago. Anyways, Narusa were they on the previous iterated map? I don't remember. I forgot.
Okay, let's see Diamante then. Wow, it's funny. We saw all the players playing, and now we just reset it, and it's only subbing. There it goes. Come on, Pope. There it is.
Pope. Anyways, this map is a pretty stop and go kind of map. There's like very small pauses in between it all. So it's
and with OD 8.5, it's pretty tricky. Can't really tunnel most of it because you need to time these breaks, these silences to hit the accuracy you require. And with OD 8.5, it can get a lot worse.
Pretty bursty map too. Like as I expected something like that to happen. Nursey just got a miss on one of the bursts, and Alexei too. Not looking very well so far. The UK is still holding strong, but Subin,
the whole Colombian team just collapses, and Subin does as well miss. But still, the UK is doing super great here. The Fusion not having great time with this map.
Yeah, that miss was not clean. He got himself a bunch of 200 as a result, and that's going to weigh down his score even more. So yeah, it looks to be a pretty easy point for United Kingdom again. Pulling it off pretty well so far. It's almost over. Just a bit more of suffering.
There's another miss by Alexito at the end, unfortunately still bleeding out a little bit. Those bursts, well, a bit too tricky for Colombia to handle, although on this last rolls they did very well. They could combo through them barely without any difficulties. But at the end of the day, it is the UK again who takes it with insane ratios all over the place. Once more, 65 and 67 for Pope and Newsom. And Subin not that much behind. He just had that issue in one of the bursts when he hit 2 bad judgments, but almost double-digit perfects. Really good scores. And over Colombia, also not too bad when it comes to ratio. This one specifically, it's just the misses.
Yeah, the misses is definitely holding them back the most. It might just be the nerves kicking in. That's probably it. I'm not sure. It might also be that they're having like issues on their end, like keyboard malfunctions, as we see sometimes happen. Let's see what they're going for next. They might go for more hybrids, because we did see that a couple.
Honestly, if I were Colombia, I would just pick Yahoy. It's probably the map that UK will do the worst out of all the Romanian picks. And even though you're probably not that good at the map either, it's probably your best shot.
Yeah, if you can FC it, it's probably the better option. Or even if...
Streams map. Oh, that's the words I never said, right? Yep, there it is.
The words I never said. Some... Alright. That's the first I've seen this map, actually.
Yep, same here.
So we got a couple of unpopular picks being picked on this. Interesting. But yeah, United Kingdom only needing 2 more points. Colombia has to dig deep to find some kind of weakness on the United Kingdom side. And they just... So are they substituting anyone? Like we were talking about how United Kingdom seems to be rotating players, letting everyone have their chance to shine. Not letting anyone be perma-benched.
Yep, and this time around we're seeing Newsom subbing out, I think for the first time in the matchup, and Young gonna be the one substituting him.
So Newsom is out to catch a breath, maybe get some water. I recommend getting some water if you're watching this.
Ratio is good. Yeah, water is good too. I think that at this point everyone on the UK already played, right? I believe we saw Emery,
yeah, I think so.
Newsom, we saw Young, Suvin, Pope,
Eliminate,
yeah. We saw and Ting,
right?
of course. We saw everyone already.
Yeah, interesting. And it's only 3 maps then.
Hey, we see a go again. The fading man.
Okay, now it's looking pretty well for Colombia, doing well on the Axe side. But of course, there's streams to come, so I won't speak too soon. We'll see what happens during the stream parts.
I remember back then I had issues reading like this kind of fast streams. Oh, I'm gonna go has a miss over there. That's the problem with fading. If you miss, it takes you a bit to get back to the reading because your lane coverage gets increased or reduced based on your combo. So it is very tricky to get back from a miss. But I was saying, this kind of maps, usually I played them with Flashlight back then, back in like 2016. They felt so much easier with Flashlight. I imagine with fading might be a similar thing, although you of course have to be pretty used to the mod itself because it's so much different. People compare hidden with fading a lot and they are so much different.
Oh. Yeah, they're pretty... I mean, I have never played hidden or fading before, so I can't really commentate on that personally. But maps like these I always found a bit odd, so I'm not surprised that it's not picked as often, because these kind of fast streams just... It feels very weird if you wanna pure act, and because you still tend to do a bit of mini-manip here and there, and that's pretty punished on maps like this.
There goes the map. Overall, Colombia did fairly well on this. 250 300s for both the Fusion and Alexito. Pretty much almost the exact same score. It's just a Go who had a couple of misses. But then again, the US, oh my god, the UK did
UK.
so good here. Yeah, UK with just 150 across the entire team. 2 double-digit perfects. Super great scores.
Now I do wonder if we'll be seeing UK on the podium.
Honestly, I think we will. I think UK... It is between UK, Brazil, Malaysia, and the United States. But I think UK has a pretty good shot. Honestly, if they can hold on their ground on later game, they might even be a contender to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I could see that happen. That's exciting. We've had lots of new winners after the, tyranny. I wouldn't say tyranny, maybe that's a wrong word. But you know what I'm talking about. South Korea has been pretty dominant, and now it looks like they're faltering a bit behind, and now we're seeing very, very interesting podiums throughout.
Oh my god! Oh, UK is picking it!
Oh, UK is picking it. Karaoke, let's go. That's also one of the maps that I haven't seen. And it's... yeah, a lot of people are going to be very weirded by this map because of the slow releases. It happened to be a skill set I'm pretty good at, so I'm like, how do people get so many 200s?
Well, the thing is, it's not just slow releases. I don't think the fact that they are so slow is the problem. I mean, of course it is the problem. But the fact that you need to coordinate 2 fingers of the same hand with different release timings, but there's such a big gap between the two, it is very frequent you're gonna hit 200s on those. And also, being used to the 1/4 length of a 128 BPM, if you don't play this kind of speed before all that often, it takes a while to get used to. You need to practice this a fair bit until you get the rhythm of it. Because hits on 128 are pretty easy, they're not the problem. It's just that releasing on 1/4 for 128 is just awkward. It takes a while until you get used to it. Once you get used to it, you can just tunnel through all the entire map. It mostly is just 1/4 releases.
I imagine someone like Newson is very good.
Yeah, Newson's gonna struggle with Shark. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we gonna see a go with fading on this? I'm scared.
How would you rate this? I can see fading being useful for things like Rise, but LN...
I mean, it's a matter of comfort, right? If you're used to use fading on everything, then it's fine. But still, it's gonna look very impressive, at least in my end. I will not be able to release the notes at the correct time with fading.
Exactly. It is pretty darn impressive just to see him read stuff like this. I guess that's the show part. Oh well, looks like a go. I don't know if that was like a client thing, but it looks like they got a very early miss or something.
No, it was not. I think it's the client. Yeah, it was the client. There it goes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, Newson is hitting a lot of 200s already. Yeah, he's having the same issue I have, which is releasing 128 long notes that are 1/4 length. It's so annoying to do.
Yeah, and we haven't gotten to like the tricky release part yet. Now, and there
honestly, if you're a release player, I'll argue the ending is the easiest part, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I think it's also the easiest part for sure. I think that with some of the earlier patterning we saw was the hardest points of the map for me. Alexi, unfortunate to miss. Looks like pretty rough. Just the map looks like a density map with a go scroll speed. Didn't notice that.
It really does. Alexito as well is having a lot of trouble here. His coordination with long nose is not good enough for this map, unfortunately. He's dropping a lot of combo there when he has to hold 3, maybe 4 notes at the same time, release the difference. It makes it very tricky for this Colombian team. Ago is actually holding his ground fairly well though, despite the miss. But then on the other side, you have Colombia, everyone holding a 98%, Alexito even dropping down to the 97s. On the United Kingdom, everyone's holding up off the 99.6. This is just, unfortunately, going to be a massacre here in favor of the United Kingdom.
for Colombia is not looking good for them. Just if you have a 98 on like round 32 group stages, means you're in for a very bad time. Like even if just one player has 98, your chances are you're gonna lose, unless of course both teams has, which is kind of unusual.
I find it very interesting though, the fact that Alexito's ratio is actually pretty solid. Like 400, 300s on this it's pretty good. Like you compare it with Eliminate, who has 320, and it's fairly close. It's just a 200 count. He just had so much difficulties in that department.
Yeah.
And overall, Colombia, unfortunately, not good enough to compete on long notes here. Newson with an insane ratio, 4 200s, as well as Eliminate. And overall, this team score by UK super solid. They're going to be facing next round. I believe it is decided already, right? Who they are facing. Let me actually recheck that real quick. I believe they're going to be Thailand, right? Yeah, it's Thailand.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. I know that Thailand is very strong on the LN department, so it might be a bit of a Rise-LN matchup, which are always great to watch, I think.
I mean, I'm not sure if the Italy's strength is on the long note department. I'll say maybe it's on the Rise.
I heard. I didn't hear you said Italy. I thought you said they were going to face Thailand.
Oh, yeah, it's Thailand. I thought you meant Italy on the losers bracket against Colombia, and you were arguing long notes versus Rise. No, I think that match is going to be Rise with Rise. But in this one, yeah, you're right. Thailand, although I'll say Thailand's strength on the previous match against Italy did look like it was Rise. Their accuracy is super crazy solid, and so is the UK. So it probably will come down to the long notes, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a long note versus Rise matchup. I think they're going to exhaust all the Rise fairly early, and once that is exhausted, they will transition for the hybrids or long notes, depending on the scores we see on that particular match.
All right, but that being said, I gotta congratulate Great Britain for their great match. So, round of applause for their performance. All right, and sadly, Colombia loses that, but they aren't entirely out. They're going to the losers bracket, as we were just talking about, I believe, against Italy. Like you were saying. And we'll be having like one more match streamed. Is it Chile versus Netherlands?
Yeah, it is Chile versus Netherlands. That is the last match we're going to be streaming today. And after that, we will have the Maple Showcase.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Drop it.
find you around you, next to you. If you find something, don't be panic. You're tainted already, true and true. Show every touch notice, that's all my body.
can feel the evolution. Only time no longer frozen. I'm leaving all the door. I don't know who I will become, but I know what I want more than ever before. I can feel the evolution. Only time no longer frozen. I'm leaving all the door. I don't know who I will become, but I know what I want more than ever before. Stay
Hello, everybody. Once again, for the last time today, actually, we will have the round of 32 of the Osumania 4Key World Cup 2021. And this is since we have 3 matches happening all at the same time between USA and Belgium, number 1 seed and number 32 seed, Brazil and Germany, and Chile versus Netherlands, which is the one that we're going to be showcasing now on stream. Actually, the 2 closest seeds of the 3 wave of matches. So hopefully it's going to provide us the most exciting ones to watch. And honestly, I'm a big fan of both of these seeds. They are super cool. For those who don't know, I'm Juan Crystal commentating, and I'll be joined by Davi again.
Yeah, we're getting me again.
Yeah, let's go.
Surprise, surprise, let's go.
This duo is unexhaustible.
Truly, the best commentary duo of all times. Get the spread. Yeah. Alright, so Netherlands versus Chile, as Juan was telling us. Netherlands has been improving a lot since we last seen them on the last World Cup. I think they were one of those few European teams that made it past the group stages back when we had that thing, if you guys remember.
Yeah, that was a sick match against Italy. It was on tiebreaker that decided the qualification for them into the round of 16. That was sick.
Yeah, very exciting days those, and it looks like they've improved a lot. So between both of these teams, pretty high expectations, because Chile has a very big star player, Mioka, who has, or as he's right now in the lobby, like the Osu name is Kanochi Free because of some meme, I don't know. But he's usually referred to as Mioka, and he did win the Soft 5 tournament pretty recently. Unfortunately, this is a team tournament, so the team performance matters a lot more than like a star player. If everyone is consistent across the board, you'll go a long way. So we'll see if the other 2, one of which, who I believe is very good, is who was it?
Urusai?
Urusai, yeah.
Yeah, tournament veteran who came back for this tournament specifically, now that Miyuka is allowed to play after some things that prevented him to doing so. Now he's joining back again, and they have a very solid Rise team. Chile is a very big powerhouse when it comes to Rise in general and accuracy. And honestly, their SVs are not looking all too bad. Although the Netherlands, who is well known for the SV capabilities, they're going to go straight for Disconnected Hyper against the Chilean team. And they're probably going to go for runes after this. I wouldn't be surprised. In general, as you were saying though, the Netherlands have improved so much throughout this last couple of years. All of their players have gotten just better, stronger. They have better long nodes, they have better late game. Those were 2 things they tend to struggle in the past, and right now we're gonna go again with their usual strength, with their SV powerhouse. They actually defeated Korea, if I recall correctly, right? Last year on SVs, so very solid team. We'll see if they have what it takes in this 2 SVs against Chile.
I'm going to be expecting some pretty good scores coming out of this disconnected map. It's not a terribly difficult. As like the SV effects are a bit odd, but like the general structure of it all is very light. So, and a lot of these players are very good at just that, like very lightly layered maps with other things added on top. In this case, SV, like Knight Narumi can probably do very well on this. We'll see. Well, looks like they're having some nerves. We'll see if they can counterbalance that. Saying that themselves in the chat.
Alright, then here we go. It is time for some action between these 2 teams, Chile and Netherlands. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see a close match here. I think this is definitely on the grounds of a 5-3, maybe a tiebreaker even. So we'll see if that is the case. We're still missing Urusai here on screen, and he's loading in. And straight into the SVs it is. This first half of Disconnected Hyper is probably the hardest part of the map. So they have to be very careful here. Ritz,
Yep.
Urusai, and Kanochi against Nainarumi, Tyronix, and Shoira.
Some very. I wonder if that was like some kind of client bug, but I noticed that like Miyaka got themselves some bad judgment early there. I don't know. Either way, Urusai 99.93 climbing. Very good. Very good. We like to see that.
I'm pretty sure Urusai has experience on this too. On a previous Spanish or Hispanic tournament, he had played this map before, so he has some prior experience, and he definitely trained this a lot. And overall, Chile's accuracy is looking very solid. And I'm a bit surprised as well by Netherlands. I was expecting them to perform a little bit better on this, although Chile is definitely overperforming all my expectations.
Oh yeah, definitely. Urusai is like not far behind Miyaka, which is very scary. If you have two like insane accuracy players. Ooh. That's
No
pretty
issues on the
scary.
releases either, which was the point I was expecting Urusai to struggle a little bit, but he is not at all. 99.94 and 99.92 are the scores by these two powerhouses on the Chilean side. And Netherlands is trying to get back into this, but if no misses occur, then this is just going to go to Chile. The accuracy lead is huge.
Indeed. It's almost over here. So... Okay, a bit of a pause there. But it's okay. It's okay. Kanoshi still doing very well, as well as Urusai. He did drop a bit somewhere, I'm not sure. Might be just some rush on one of the SC patterns. Either way, very strong performance, and the map is almost over, and it looks, unless there's a last minute miss, which
I don't think
won't
so.
put it past them.
This of it is easy. There's not going to be misses. There's about 10,000 points of difference in favor of Chile. A break point right out the gates, and these ratios from both Kanochi and Urusai are ridiculous. Super crazy scores around the whole Chilean team. And although Netherlands is not that far behind, the ratio is just such a big thing to have. When you're Chile, you have this buffer of points right off the gates because of the ratio advantage. And even in SVs, it was not enough for Netherlands to take it.
Yeah, unfortunately Shoira had a couple of bad judgments there, which did weigh down their overall score. I would have, like in the best case scenario, even with a bit of a subpar ratio compared to the Chile side, they could have won that off of Ryst's performance, since he did get the most 200s, which does weigh down the score significantly. But yeah, overall Chile very strong, looking to bring this all the way.
And meanwhile, on the other side of the world, we're having the US and Belgium playing against each other, where the US managed to take the first point on Iterated, best score going for Lil Richie, with 998.5 thousand points, and as well on Brazil, who managed to win the first point against Germany on 7. MVP going to Lothus this time around, 997.5 thousand points. Very solid scores here by this top-seeded teams.
Yeah, not a big surprise that they won those points, but yeah, very strong.
Very solid performances there by both of those teams. And here we have Axel Grinder. Not a surprise here for Chile to go for something like this. They have the Rise upper hand, and they should win this fairly convincingly. The ratios are just very hard to get close to, even for top-seeded teams. I will honestly pay attention mostly to Urusai. I know there's a lot of hype with Kanochi, but on maps like this that are not that physically demanding, Urusai just steamrolls all the time.
Yeah. I haven't seen Urusai play a lot, but he's already giving off that impression that he can just steamroll through maps that he's comfortable on. We're already seeing it. 99.91, and looks like he's climbing a bit actually. Still a lot of map, of course, but this map in general is geared towards comfortability.
I'm surprised by Netherlands though. Look at those ratios as well. They're really, really close all of the players are above the 99.85, and that's saying something. These two teams are not even top seeds.
Yeah, but unfortunately Tyronix rushed a bit there and got themselves a couple of 200s, which is going to weigh down their score a bit. But overall, yeah, that's a very, very impressive performance they had. All of these players are holding up spectacularly.
This is definitely on the range of a miss. Even less than that, just a bit of a rush from Chile can definitely make this difference. And it is so close.
This could be anyone's game, indeed. We still have a bit of map to go. The very unusual case is that someone misses, which I haven't seen yet on this map. It's like very, very straightforward and consistent, and
I like how Urusai just had a difficulty intro, and after that he's literally like triple S-ing the entire map. His accuracy is so good, 99.97%. It's ridiculous.
I didn't even know that.
Considering his intro is ridiculous.
He had like a 99.91 at the intro, yeah, and then he just climbs all the way to 99.97. Like, what kind of alien is he?
Yeah, as the map goes on, this mental stamina is starting to hit the Netherlands, but not the Chileans all that much. Other than Riz, who's a little bit behind, and he's matching the other players on the Netherlands. But then Urusai and Kenochi are just destroying the shard. Like, legit, there's no other way to say it. They are just obliterating this chart.
Oh yeah, indeed. It's just a bit of chart left, and now I gotta think about what Neverland's strategy would be. Oh, and a miss. That's going to seal the deal. Definitely going to seal the deal, unless something crazy happens. Well, I'm going to scream if that happens, but it did not happen. So I'm not going to scream. Thank God for that.
That was almost a 999k from Urusai, also known as, they are saying on the chat, as Old Cartoon back on the Step Mania days. An absolute legend when it comes to accuracy and showing off. Once more, I told you all, watch out for Urusai on this early accuracy picks, because he is a god.
He destroys, yes. What would I like to see? So, what would Neverland's play be here? It's probably gonna
Toad Stripe right now, right here.
Toad Stripe, yeah, like something that's Chile's weaker side, and I don't think Neverland's is like weak on any long mode shenanigans. I also wouldn't put it past them if they like went for something like 7. That's another thing they can go for, definitely.
What? Jesus! What did I just saw? Brazil against Germany just included their second pick, and Brazil won. It was Diamante Spectra Explosion. Lothus got 19 300s on it. 999k.
How?
That's
oh my
ridiculous.
God, we missed that. That sounds how? That's insane. So good. That's so good. On a map like that, it's like filled with weird bursts. How do you act that? Okay, that guy is not human.
No, that's a robot, if I have ever seen one. That's insane. I have never seen anything like it. Oh my goodness.
That's probably going to be the highest score on that map for maybe forever.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can top that. Maybe Kenochi, and that will be the stretch even.
Yeah, considering its performance on Axel Grinder right now, I wouldn't expect something absurd like that.
Well, oh my god, dude, I'm watching the match as well between United States and Belgium. Belgium is doing really well. Like, the US won both of the picks. We had an issue here from Spandog on the first pick. They won the second on 7. But their scores are super good. Like, Belgium is the lowest seed of the tournament, and on 7, their lowest score is a 987,000 points. That would have beaten most teams that play 7 so far. It's just that the United States is such a big powerhouse.
It looks like they're pretty good on the lower end of stuff. I imagine like they tanked a lot on the more difficult maps of the qualifiers, but are doing pretty well on like a bit easier maps. Maybe that's my theory. I haven't seen their qualifier results.
Oh, okay. They're going for 7 here. I thought Toe Strike was better, but I don't mind this pick from the Netherlands.
What was that?
They're picking 7, right?
Oh yeah, they're picking 7. I called it.
True. But again, I thought Toe Strike was just better overall. Like, I'll say Chile will struggle a little bit more with that. Specifically looking at Ursay, out of all the players in the Chilean team, in a map like that, he probably struggles. Not as hard as Iyahoy, but it has a fairly important release component on Toad Strike. The density is there; it's mostly there, but I don't know. It's not something that you can like imbers all that often, or not many like jump stream imbers or jump stream long nodes. So I'll feel like Chile will struggle a little bit with it.
Oh yeah, like this is one of the most long note heavy hybrids we have. And another thing about the Toad Stripe thing, it might have been a bit of a uncomfortable pick for them, like they don't want to pick it immediately out of the gate because it's a bit mind blocking, it's a bit risky. Like when I test played it, there was this one part that I just couldn't get right. It like felt off to play somewhat. Especially as you play it more and more. I think that could be reasonable assumption. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe they're just not feeling it, or they don't like the song. Alternatively, we're taking a bit to get into it. They want some kind of replacement.
Yeah, there were some technical difficulties here from the captain of the Netherlands. Too fast for you.
I see.
And he's back.
Welcome back.
We're gonna see, I believe, the first substitution on the Chilean team we have seen in this match. This is gonna be Stupid CL replacing. Oh my god, I struggle with names a lot. Was it Rizze?
Oh yeah, same.
It was Riz. It was Riz. Yeah, Riz is the one that got replaced here.
Yep. I won. But sometimes names are like kind of weird
Names are hard.
sounding. Yeah. And then you got another thing that's hard is just coming up with names. Like if you ever like write a book or something like that, do a bit of like world building, and you just have to come up with names that stick, and it's so hard. I mean, at least for me, I'm not sure if that's the same for everyone. Maybe some are like creative geniuses with her. Oh, enough about that. We're still waiting until the match to start. Let's play Galaxy Collapse Cute Overload Remix. How would that sound like? Is that a thing? I wouldn't put it to pause. That's a thing. Oh, Banshee is messing up or something?
The ride never ends, as Penn is claiming on the lobby. Bancho has had some very bad performance issues today, connection issues in general.
Oh, that's great. We'll be waiting another like 10 minutes, so maybe.
Meanwhile, both Brazil and US both won their third picks. Was Harajuku Iyahoy for Brazil with a crack score by NJMC, also known as Amaron, 997.1 thousand points. And then Diamante Spectrosplosion was the pick for the US. They won it as well, with the Creep Warrior taking the lead here with 996.4 thousand points. Really
That
solid
just
score.
highlights how insane Lofa's score was. Not even the best players in the United
In
States.
the US. Yeah, not even close.
Yeah. But
Like,
just,
he got 76, which is insane. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
against
it's
90,
insane.
you can't do much.
Yeah, it's so absurd. Oh yeah, apparently Gripori was Neptune, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neptune. Well, I guess we're still having connection issues with Ursai not being able to come into the lobby. Oh, he back?
I think he's back, yeah. Urusai, more like Urusaint.
Urusaint. True. Uruspy.
Wow. And he's back, let's go.
Let's go. We can finally get this match started. Let's see if Netherlands can bring a point against Chile. As we were saying before, this is like one of the closest in terms of seeds, so it can definitely happen that Netherlands strikes some points against Chile. They're leading to...
In Longno specifically, I think they have some chances, and this is the closest thing to a Longno pick that is not a Longno pick, so this might just work fine for them.
Yeah, it's kind of
Mostly
Longno
will be
pick and
oh,
slice.
Bakuretsue! That's not the way you want to start a map!
No, that's the wrong. That's the wrong note. You're playing wrong. I'm going to sanction you for this, Madison.
That was not good. Like, this is a map that should be fairly even when it comes to accuracy, unless your name is Miyuka, then you're just gonna destroy this. But Urusai and Super CL are not solid LM players. They can hold their grounds, but they're not as consistent. Misses could happen, and you cannot just give a buffer to the other team so early on as your Netherlands. You need to get the triple full combo on this.
Well,
and with this miss by Bakuretsue, it is gonna be very tricky to recover.
Luckily, it did happen very, very early on, so this buffer isn't going to be as big as it would have been like in the middle or almost at the end of the map, because you have more time to build that 400.
Oh, there's the miss by Gauchi! Oh, there it goes!
No.
Now it's coming back. Let's go! Yeah, the accuracies
that's-
were super close, and now they're just tied. Look at that, Tyronics, essentially the same as Stupid CL. Kanochi has a miss, and Bakuretsu trades it. No.
No,
Fast
this
for
is
you,
wild.
starting to equalize it, but it's not enough.
Here
Oh,
comes-
what was that miss?
Okay, I still think anything can happen. It's very close.
It might very well happen, but at this point, it's just Urusai and Stupid who are holding this full combos against the odds. Them not being the Longno players of the team, they still hold their own combos to pull through this victory as they take the third point of the match. Second break point for themselves, and that score from Yuka again. Insane ratio, that single miss proving to not be enough this time for Chile to lose it, but very, very close to.
This wouldn't happen if warm-ups existed. Oh, cruel world. Why is there no... Also, Bakuretsu having a one bad judgment out of everything. 1-1-1-1.
Oh my god, I think we have witnessed history as well on another match right here. Brazil-Germany. Germany picks disconnected hyper. Brazil wins it. But do you know who had the best score on that map? You wouldn't guess it. Silly Fanger, of all people, topping the scores on an SV map. 996.4 thousand points. That's
good.
huge.
ATT. Finally you can do something that's not... Something on maps that's not like semi-finals, grand finals.
No boy, we're going straight into Diamante, Spectra Explosion here for Chile. This is their pick. And honestly, I think Netherlands could have won the previous one. It would have been a closer match, but on the SVs, Chile just outright outplayed Netherlands. Right now, if Chile wins this, I'm not sure what Netherlands should go for. I really think Toast Drive is still the better pick. They could go for Ruins instead, But at this point, it's looking very dark, very difficult for Netherlands to come back from this disadvantage when they lost their own map 2 times already.
Yeah, it's a very like, what do you say? It's like a lot of resistance against them, right? It's big air resistance or whatever. They have to walk up this hill, which, well, forget it. Anyways, we'll see if Miuka can, or Ursai can top Loaf's score.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I must. Oh, that's a miss from Ritz. That's a
Is it?
very early miss for Ritz, and that's good news for Netherlands. But honestly, I don't see it. I mean, 19 is just unhuman. And as much as I love these two players and I know they're super crazy good, I think Kanochi could have some options, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. Bakuretsu trading
Okay.
the miss. Oh my
No.
god, this is a miss fest.
Miss Fest indeed. It would look very different had have Netherlands not gotten such affinity of missing
Tyronics
randomly.
as well.
Ooh, that big burst section is pretty darn hard to, well, do well on. So that just makes the score from Lofus even more
More impressive, yeah. Oh, that's another miss by Tyronics. Oh, come on. Netherlands just inting here.
no. Yeah, it looks like they're not performing well under pressure or something.
I'm looking at the accuracy by Kanochi here and seeing if he can somehow pull ahead of Lotus, but I don't think this percentage is gonna do the trick. And Tyronics, another miss once again for him, having a lot of difficulties on this burst. And if Netherlands just wins the long no pick after this or whatever they decide to pick, Chile can just go for the map made by Joel, like the speed map, and they should just be fine. Tyronics struggled a lot on this kind of patterns, and those are abundant on Rise number 1, and that's 24. Okay, that's very close to Lotus. And so is Urusai. Like, what is wrong with those two guys?
24! Oh, Jesus.
Not quite 999k, but almost there.
That is very absurd. But we should also look at Netherlands' side.
Oh my goodness. Dude.
What happened?
Oh, again Brazil. What just happened? Brazil just took the game with the 5th point, and it was an iterated. Lotus got 20 and Light got 38. They had almost two 999Ks on the same map. That's insane.
Oh my god, is that the highest team score?
That has to be the highest team score. They were like 3.5 thousand points off the 3 million.
Oh my god. That's just playing it like it was like a George Jack map. Something.
I think the United States is also about to finish the last map, and if they win it, they're gonna be taking the match as well.
Yeah, as April just said, absolutely sent to Brazil. Goddamn.
Oh yeah, Germany just got sent to Brazil for sure.
Very well sent. Got sent very hard. Okay, so what does Netherlands pick again? What would it be? Haven't decided. Yeah, they're going with Toad. Yeah. Oh, I wonder how you actually pronounce that right. Toadstrip or Toadstripe or Toadestrip. There's a variety of pronunciations you can have on that. But yeah,
just disappear. Okay, there he is. Oh, we're having Jan for the first time. Oh, and Fast as well. Okay, we have a full team swap here other than Kanochi for the Chileans.
Yeah, I guess Urusai doesn't feel very well on the long note department, but then again it did pretty well on 7, all things considered. Just a bit more 200s than they would like. Maybe you just wanna take a break or just let these 2 other players play. Who knows? I haven't seen these people play, so it'll be interesting to see how well they perform. Don't disappoint.
gonna see some player substitutions, I think, here on the Netherlands. Gotta be careful here. I think this is a map that Netherlands can win fairly convincingly. They have Toxic Scent for this one particularly, but the one player we have to watch out for here is Too Fast For You. His long note releases have been insanely good. His accuracy on long notes has improved a lot throughout this last couple months and years maybe. And Chile, again, they are having a pretty much a team swap here, other than Kanochi, who's essentially going to play every single map in the tournament from now on. So we have to see. I'm not so sure. Like they are sacrificing a little bit of his accuracies, but probably for the sake of better consistency here. I'm not really sure how good Jan or Fast are. Haven't seen much of them. So this would be a good chance to see if Chile actually has what it takes to compete on the long note department. And US beats the Belgians on their last map. It was Axa Grinder, Top Daddy getting the better score with 998.8 thousand points. That's very solid as well. He got 56 300s, and that's really, really good.
Oh yeah, 998. One of the...
Seeing a mirror here by John, and everyone else seems to be doing just fine. Oh, Too Fast For You actually having some difficulties on the intro. I'm a bit surprised by that matter. And with that, it's actually Netherlands who's on the lead. Fast is struggling with accuracy very hard.
Oh yeah, Fast. I thought you said Fast.
Oh, that
yikes, transition. That's going to hurt. I'm surprised I didn't pick this sooner. Even I missed from too fast. That won't be the end of it all. It just means the score will flicker a bit, but it's going to go.
I'm not that sure. I think Chile might just have the advantage regardless. Like that, sure, that was only a single miss, but there's a second one now.
Seconds.
Oh, did I just burst Too Fast For You? I'm so sorry.
I'm so not sorry too. We hyped you up so much, and well, I guess the misses got the better of you. Still pretty good accuracy all around, and Toxic Scent holding up pretty well. As same with Shoira, and then we have Miyaka, doing Miyaka things.
Yeah, Miyuki's doing really well on this map. I was expecting a little bit of a higher accuracy, so this probably isn't his PV, probably not as close to his PV either. And at this moment, even though the accuracy advantage seems to be just barely on the side of Netherlands, those two misses are they're undoing really here. If the whole Chilean team can full combo the rest of the shard, which they should be able to, they're just gonna take this. And there it is, 990k plus for Kanochi here. And I believe Gian might also be hitting the 990k. I think so. Yeah, there it is. 990k for Gian as well here. They will take the map and the match finally. 4 200s for both Kanochi and Gian. Extremely solid ratio here by Kanochi as well. Fast, not the greatest when it comes to ratio, but that full combo definitely proving to be an important thing for the team. And with this, Netherlands will be sent to the losers bracket, unfortunately, and Chile will be advancing through the winners bracket. The matchups are already decided, as this was, of course, the last match of the day. Chile will be facing China next weekend, and Netherlands will be facing Venezuela on the losers bracket. On the other matchups as well, the United States will be facing France on the next stage, while Peru will be facing Belgium. I think that match might actually be a lot closer than what people give credit for, even though Belgium was at seed number 32. And Germany will be facing Argentina on the losers bracket as well, while Brazil will be facing Indonesia.
And with that said, congratulations to Chile for advancing. And as Juan just told us, it's not over for Netherlands yet. They still have a chance. They still have a chance to advance. We'll all see next week what happens, what their fate will be. But yeah, not much else to say other than to stay tuned, because in 30 minutes roughly, we'll be having a Mapu showcase.
Well,
And
perhaps
along with
earlier.
that-
I'm not sure, right?
Perhaps.
We will take a little bit of a break to prep the map pool showcase, but as soon as that's ready, we are going to be going straight into it. So you probably shouldn't leave your seats for that long. You can go grab something to eat, something to drink, maybe go to the bathroom, but be back as soon as you can, because as soon as we are ready, we shall be getting started with the map pool showcase.
When I feel down, I try not to forget to look around. It's a beautiful place. It's not always easy living in this world, but I know it's up to me, and I am never giving up. I swear I'll hold on. I'm holding on, and if I fall down, I'll get back up again. I swear I'll hold on. look around, just look around. It's a beautiful place.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to some more MWC action for the 2021. That was a weird opening. But welcome welcome back. We're here after having finished every single match for the round of 32. I'm Toph Daddy, and I'm joined with... Man, I am not having a good time talking right now. I'm so sorry.
Okay? Are you okay, man?
No, apparently not. But that being the case, that being said, we are here for our round of 16 map pool showcase. And I mean, I don't really have much else to say past that. We're going to see a jump in difficulty and an extra 2 maps added to the map pool. I think one extra long note map and one extra rice map. I want to say. I think that's how this is.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe
that's what it looks
case.
like.
Yeah, we have like a wild card long no map added to the pool, and I believe we have not Korjaks yet, but another rice map for sure, like an all-rounder rice pick, I think.
Yeah, it's looking like that. I think we heard that the Korjaks will be introduced starting in quarterfinals. So next week we will see some Korjaks in the map pools. This week, not so much. But with that, we can get right into the map pool. And the first map we're going to be seeing is something that I can't necessarily say. I'm just going to call it Die Winnipeg. This is going to be our speed jump stream pick. It's going to be less dense than one of the other picks in the pool, but it is going to be quite fast at 225 BPM. This is rated, or no, it's not. This is not rated.
No, it's not.
This is the only rice pick that's not rated, which is an interesting thing to say. We'll see how that goes for the rest of the rice pool. But this is 225 BPM. It's quite fast. Most seems to at the start have quite a few just bursts of 225 BPM jump stream without having too much like extended continuous jump stream.
Pretty short map too, right? 1 minute 52 seconds. One of the shortest maps we have seen in this pool. I mean, not in this pool, but rather in this tournament, right? The pool just started.
Yeah, I mean, last round the round of 32 map pool was quite short overall. I think we saw maybe 5 or 6 maps that were less than 2 minutes. So I wouldn't really call this out of the ordinary as far as this tournament goes so far. But it is definitely, I think as we're getting further on in the tournament, the map pools are going to get longer. So we're going to see more of an average of low 2 minutes to, mid, 2 minutes 30 seconds to 2 minutes 45 seconds as an average length of the pool, and keep on going from there.
Well, and that is important, right? Because this is the faster jump stream pick. I reckon that if you have like a good run, if you can focus enough, you might be able to play through this without that much difficulty, even though it might be just out of your comfort zone. 225 BPM is fairly fast, but it's like on the edge of a lot of players that are capable of hitting something like this. But perhaps if it was more stamina draining, more longer, then it would be another story. I think most teams should be able to do fairly well on a map like this.
Yeah, the patterns are also very awkward, especially towards that ending. We saw some hand stream and lots of extended one-hand trills, which I think are going to trip some people up. But short map already over. On to number 2, our first hybrid.
Yep, immediately spotting the OD 8.5 on this map, 2 minutes and 12 seconds. We're seeing Etude, or Etude, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. This is a TDEC map though. It's been a while since I've seen a TDEC map on a pool. Actually, it was Saihate, right? It was from TDEC.
Saihate was from last year, yeah. That was in last year's finals pool. So not too long since we've seen a TDEC pick in the pools. But speaking of Saihate, that's an interesting thing to bring up, because I think a lot of people tend to compare this and Saihate as far as like what is supposed to test. It's like all-rounded. You're not going to get away with just being good at LNs or just being good at the rice accuracy side of things. Obviously this is going to be a lot easier than Saihate was last year. This is round of 16. We're not getting that hard yet. But
it's kind of a Korjaki theme as well here. You can see, though it's not fast enough. It's 160 1/3, I think.
Yeah, 160 BPM, and that section you just saw there is very tricky to get the releases right. That's probably the hardest bit of LNs in the map, but there is a bit of a section later on that includes them, and that will probably also trip some of the less LN capable players up.
Ooh, really tricky burst over there. I saw some tricky jacks as well in the middle. This looks fine though. Some of the jacks are a bit tricky. They have some aim burst action like there. The releases are a bit complicated though, I'll say, as you mentioned in the previous part. I would reckon that might be the hardest part of the chart, but then some players who are not as physically capable might struggle with the jacks.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a mixed bag of how things go. And like I said, more LNs coming in at the end. A bit tricky, but shouldn't be too hard for anyone who is able to read through it and play it. But it is it's like a step up from 7 and destroy from the previous pool. So But another quite short map, 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Starting off with some of the shorter maps in this pool. With that out of the way, we'll be seeing our LN Density pick of the pool. A song quite familiar to the older crowd of this game, too.
Oh, yeah. 2015 vibes here.
2015 vibes. Sakura Mirage, a collab between Penguinosity and Mint. So it looks like this might have been made for this tournament. 1 minute and 45 seconds. Even shorter than Die Winnipeg,
So I played this map before, and I have this issue that it is very similar to Ganryu Tensei. And it makes sense because Penguinosity is one of the mappers. It is very tricky to combo. I didn't have much difficulty getting good accuracy out of it. I think I got a 3-200 run on this, but just comboing through some of these barriers is so hard. Some of the coordination required at some specific sections is just a bit too much for my taste. But the map tests Density fairly well regardless.
Yeah, I think the comparison to Ganryu Tensei is really interesting because I think the songs between the two are quite similar. So you
it's just slower.
Yeah, it's just like a slower version of Ganryu Tensei. Maybe a little bit easier on the coordination side of things. It doesn't seem particularly, like Jack focused in the same way that Ganryu Tensei was. And it keeps the streams up for a lot longer and more consistently than Ganryu Tensei.
The intro as well has this extended long notes. Like most of this is streams on 1/4, but you have some eventual 1/2s in the middle, and those are very tricky to hack as well. And in this last bit, it's mostly just coordination, really. There's no much like continuous stream, so you have to be very patient and very focused to hit this properly. Otherwise, some of those patterns when you have to pull the third column and then anchor on the fourth one are very tricky to combo and you can easily miss on it.
Yeah, a lot of coordination issues going to show up for this, but not to mention that the density is also going to trip people up as far as reading comes.
It's like not imbers, right? Those types that they look like imbers, but it's not.
Why is the Shakinetsu sun in the background?
Yo!
All right, but the short song, we're going into a tech chart now. First tech chart of the pool. And it's going to be Brain Fog by Shoegazer. On a rate, we're back into the rate, or not back into the rates. This is the first rice pick we've seen other than Die Winnipeg. So the beginning of the rice rates for the rest of the pool.
Oh boy, I'm already scared. This is such a short pool so far, though. I'm surprised.
Yeah, maybe they're just gonna keep this like the how the pool's set up for showcase. Start with all the really short maps and then get longer as the pool goes. Because all the longer maps from round of 32 are in the end, so we'll see if that stays the case. But 181 BPM, you're seeing a lot of mini jacks here, which at 181 BPM are not trivial. Those can be very tricky to get right.
They're anything but trivial.
And then, yeah, we get some broken jump stream of sorts. And this kind of broken jump stream spreads for the rest of the map for the most part. But there is still some mini jack play, like right here. And these can be very tricky. They're easily mind blocked, I think. But with that, so? I think they are. Maybe it's just maybe it's just a skill issue on my part, but I don't know. I have a lot of issues coordinating those or keeping myself from mind blocking them.
I guess those kind of patterns are a bit tricky, right? When you have to jack into a hand that is not on the jack column, those patterns can be a bit tricky to get used to. I feel that you're more used to do it the other way around, right? You have a hand and then you jack.
Yeah, I could. or it's just a hand with like a mini jack connected to the hand
into
in the
the hand.
first place. But we got
This
some
is
more mini
very tricky,
jacks,
though.
and this
I
ending
mean-
gets denser. Like
Yeah,
the ending
I was
is
about to
denser
say.
than the beginning, so we'll probably be seeing a lot of breaks come the ending of this chart.
Oh boy, we're going straight now into the next pick. This has to be the Spick pick. If I know anything, I see Joel and I immediately think of speed single streams.
Yeah,
And just open your eyes.
two pulls in a row. You see Joel, you see low BPM. You're like, oh, let's see what happens.
308 BPM rolly streams is what we're gonna get in this particular map.
This is just the sequel to D&B from last round. Very directly, these are quite similar patterns, just faster.
Yeah, it's literally just that. Like, there isn't much of a difference. The patterns are legit very, very similar to what we saw on the previous stage. But I will say this is more stamina draining. You don't have as many breaks as you had on the other one. Or at least it feels that way.
We'll see. We're back in the jump stream. This has pretty much the exact same structure so far as the previous one, but this is really a big case of, if you were comfortable with D&B from last round, and you still have the physical capability to keep up with 308 BPM single streams, this is going to be super comfortable. Very comfortable.
It's similar to core jacks in some ways. Like, you have like ranges where you can and you cannot do stuff. And with single streams and core jacks, it's like the most notorious ones. Because the moment you get out of your comfort zone on maps like this, you just cannot play at all.
You fall apart. So like, your limit's 350, you can probably crush 340 BPM, but you play a 360 and you get a 96.
It's on.
Yeah. So this is going to really start to test who is capable of keeping up with this speed, in comparison to the 208, it was 247 last round, and that's a huge jump, actually.
That is a very insane jump. But to be fair, I think that it wasn't all the time 247. I think at some points they were more bursty, wasn't it? I thought it was.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. But regardless, 308 BPM, very fast. And we'll be moving on.
360 in the next round and then 400.
Yeah, we'll be making those giant gaps each time. But we got LN Tech Cav Cell. It's something some people are probably familiar with because of the LN tournament from last year. This was used as a qualifier.
It was qualifier, right? Yeah.
It was longer in the qualifier version, but I don't think that's really going to change much because the map was hard.
Yeah, it was pretty hard, but I argue it was mostly hard because of some of the releases that were a bit too insane. Like too short long notes, if I recall correctly, wasn't it?
Maybe. I don't really recall the exact reasons that this ended up being hard. I think it needed a lot of consistency, and you needed to really focus on the short releases in the middle of, a bunch of density, which can be very complicated to, focus on. It looks like that's not going to be as big of a problem this far into the map.
Yeah, it looks pretty tame so far.
But we'll have to see how the second half of the map goes. This is probably a lot harder than it looks. I'm going to say that.
Oh, yeah. The short long notes on top of all the denser patterns are always hard to hit. And this particular sections, you require some reading. It takes some time to get used to it. But I still think it's not too bad yet. I'm liking this though. This looks really fun to play.
Yeah, I definitely the cut in time is going to be very nice. Don't want to be doing this kind of LN play for 4 minutes.
Oh yeah, it will drain you. It will really drain you.
100%.
This kind of maps just drain you a lot, and if they are 4 minutes, it just becomes a little bit unbearable. Like here we go. This is the ending.
Yeah, that transition.
This is a lot harder.
There's a lot of points in this ending that we're seeing that, don't look particularly hard, but they'd be like normal density sections if the LN's extended further. Like, if this was inverse, I think it'd be easier than it is in its current state.
Absolutely.
But
1-200 by Mysterion, though.
Yeah, insane. Mysterion is crushing these pools. He's insane. But that's the end of LN wildcard. We'll be going into our first SV pick. And this one's classified as the reading one, as you might expect. You know, we're always seeing the reading one before the memo picks in these pools. And it's going to be Gimme the Blood by...
Give me the SV.
By H1 Per.
I never seen this map before.
I don't think I've seen it before either. But some interesting snap gimmicks going on, like, or I guess, like snap
Visual
SV.
snaps. Yeah, visual snaps to some degree, I guess you could call them.
Not like rhythmic snaps, but
Yeah.
there's lots of parts in this I think that are going to trip people up. Like this might be the reading pick, but already some of these SVs are showing, you know, things that you're going to have to pay attention to and potentially memorize. I think what's going to be important is making sure you know how the rhythm goes in some of these parts.
I mean, if you're familiar with C-Show songs, they're all pretty similar. There's no exception.
Yeah, also the gaps between the notes are generally not misleading at this point. I think when you see those larger gaps between notes, like right here is not really the greatest example because it's just a slow jam right now. But when you see those larger gaps, there's going to be little gimmicks that are going to make it harder, like right there with that slow jam.
Oh, that's tough. Oh, that I can see a lot of people dropping there. Oh boy, those are lands.
Oh, this ending's gonna get people. This ending looks much harder than the beginning did.
I'm liking this though. I think this is reasonable though. Like it shouldn't take you too much to get used to it, to practice it. Although some of those stops are very, very unintuitive to hit. You really need to know the song very well.
Oh, that SV pattern looked really weird, even though it was just like 1/4. The visual gimmick there made them look
looks like an
very
A.
different.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm liking this. I like this pick. It looks really fun.
Yeah, SV's out of the way. A more LN-focused hybrid coming here.
Another Penguinosity map.
Another Penguinosity map. Wednesday Campanella.
What is the start rating though? 3.83? Sus.
Yes, sus. It's on 1.2 rate as well. And it looks like this is going to have a pretty okay focus on bursts as well as the LN. So I think this is going to be a big map about transitioning. I think I tend to say that a lot about these kinds of maps, but when you have to worry about like very technical patterns in it, like thrown between LNs, being able to transition your reading between those things becomes very important. And this is the longest map we've seen in this pool so far. It's like our 7th or 8th pick, and it's 2 minutes and 55 seconds. I think this is where we're going to start seeing the longer picks in the pool, because I'm looking at some of the later maps that we're seeing, and quite a few of them are longer than what we've been used to so far.
Oh, we're seeing Wilbur suit. Who's this person that's playing the replay? I've never seen before.
I'm not sure, but in any case, we're halfway through the map, and we've seen quite a bit of, mixture of the LN. It's really interesting to see how consistent this map has been.
This is like very hard to time though, regardless. Like, it just feels awkward, right? Like, the raid kind of makes this more awkward than what it is, I think. Like,
yeah, like you're going in between 1/8 bursts, going 1/8 bursts, having those mini janks thrown between them. And those 8th bursts, like some of them are only 3 notes long, so having to balance those between, the general 1/4 patterns is going to make things a bit hard to get good accuracy on.
This seems like the map I would like to play though. If I was playing on the tournament, this is the kind of maps I will probably want to go for. Is though I think it's not going to be the case for most teams, though. Like, again, this reminds me a little bit of, was it Destruction or Destroy, I think, on the previous
Destroy.
map? Those maps that you're like, they are there, you're probably going to do well on them, but they're like longer and they test a lot of stuff, so you might just save it for a decisive moment. Maybe you want to win on the other things that are shorter, or you're more convincingly winning.
Yeah, I mean, like,
probably going to ignore the most part.
I think it's fair to say generally that when we're seeing matches, it's going to be like LN versus Rice or something like that, where the teams are going to be pushing to one side. And this is going to be one of those maps that's saved for the end of those kinds of matches. It's not going to favor necessarily one team at any given point. But we'll be getting right back into some more Rice, some tech. I believe this is tech.
Well, this is OD 9.1, so if it is tech, it's going to be extremely hard to get accuracy out of it.
Yeah. This is labeled as FFR core, so another... this pool's Diamante. And it makes sense. This is in FFR, I believe. I think it is.
I would imagine so. 1.2 rate as well, 223 BPM. So about the same speed requirements from the light jump through pick we saw before, so...
Yeah, so far in this intro we've seen mostly single streams, but I believe that as we get further on, this is going to get pretty dense.
It will start to pick itself up, yep. The more time you have low density, the more density you're going to have at the ending.
Nice quads. That's what we like to see.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's pretty similar for these Lawn Wake songs. This one's Lawn Wake 9. So you can expect there to be quite a few of them, and they all kind of have this similar structure where the first like third of the song is usually pretty slow. But yeah, now we're getting into the hard bits, and we saw a staircase pattern, which is at 200. Actually, that might have been like a 330 BPM staircase.
Oh,
very bursty, very much something you're going to need to focus for a little bit and make sure that you get that part right. Now, I'm guessing that this ending is going to throw something very similar at you.
And with the OD as well, 9.1, those bursts are very hard. You're going to rush so many 200s on there if you're not comfortable with the speed. Oh, that was disgusting.
And roll and trills. It throws a bit of everything at you for now. Like a lot of bursts, a lot of not necessarily complicated rhythms, but ones that stop at places that you wouldn't necessarily expect and can be difficult to, keep yourself consistent.
Oh, it just goes at the end. It never stops.
No breaks around here. You get your beginning, you get your two other breaks, and then you get nothing else.
Yikes.
And here comes some more long maps.
Let's go.
Long note maps. Shoutouts to Soft 2 semifinals.
Well, to be fair, this was initially mapped for the French tournament, so it wasn't even for the Soft, but yeah, it was used there. But this is an edit. I mean, it's not an edit, just an OD increase. The map is the same, otherwise. So yeah, we felt that the OD 6.5 was a bit too easy for this. OD 7 is still fine, but we'll see. The main challenge of this is the length, I think. It's not that much difficult compared to like something like Kaleidoscope. In fact, I will argue this might be slightly easier in some regards.
I think
but the length kind of helps.
Rhythmically and physically, I think it would probably be easier than Kaleidoscope, but the releases I think are a bit harder in this. And the coordination you need, especially for having to go for 3 minutes, is going to take a toll on some players.
Yeah, the length is the main issue here. And the middle portion where you have the graces, they can be a bit difficult. We considered using rates on this as well, but we figured that we wanted to test mostly releases on this, so increasing the rates will not really help in that department, and it will only make the patterns harder.
It will make the patterns harder, but make the release part of it easier.
Exactly. So the OD was increased instead, and again, this is just mostly consistent throughout the entire chart. You have this reverse shields and the shields all over the place. Signature of my mapping techniques, I guess, on the timing hills for those that play the harder stuff.
Yeah, I think this is definitely something along the lines of like a mixture of release and consistency. I think I mentioned this earlier on in the chart, but this I think is textbook coordination. Like, release is a weird term for a lot of picks, but coordination, I think, describes this a lot better than just saying it's a release test. Because there are a lot of patterns in this map that require a significantly more coordination than anything else.
I might reduce the hit sound volume in a future
Maybe.
It might be a good idea.
100% hit sound volume, yes.
You see this thing when you're mapping, I'm not sure if you do it as well, but I just have to have the hit sounds at 100% so I can listen to the density of the patterns.
It depends how I'm feeling on a given day, but regardless, hit sounds aside, this ending chorus is, I think, fair to say the hardest of them.
Yeah, it's a little bit denser than the rest of the chart, so it definitely is.
It's denser and throws a few release patterns
Yeah.
that didn't exist before. And it's a lot more inversey too in that last chorus, which can be pretty difficult to handle compared to the other choruses.
Yo, why is everyone blaming me in the chat? What did I do?
You made this map. That's what you did. And you also made hit sound volume 100%.
Oh, true. Yeah, it's probably because of that, right?
But yeah, one long note. Moving on into what I'm guessing is another long one. Yep, 3 minutes and 18 seconds, 213 BPM, Robotic Girl, a lane map. And this is going to be our consistency JS pick. So it's going to be slower than Die Winnipeg was, but it is going to be longer and more consistent. And likely a bit denser in certain parts as well.
I love lane maps. I hope this is not
I love lane.
different considered his mapping in general. I expect it to be just a normal lane chart, and if that's the case, I'm loving this.
Yeah, I think that's fair to expect. Something very smooth. I think that's exactly. Kind of like what
smooth is like the way to define lane charts.
Yeah.
This should be denser though, right? Considering.
Yeah, I think I think it should be, but it might not be in certain sections. We'll just see. It's mostly going to be about the length in this situation. Keeping good accuracy and consistency as this chart continues on. And it's, like I said, it's about 213 BPM, so this is just around the same BPM as Iterated was from last round. Just instead of being 1 minute and 50 seconds, it's 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, and we can start to see already some density over here in this section, and I'll argue this is slightly denser than the map we saw on the previous round overall.
Yeah, we're also seeing quite a few anchors throughout this, like trills and anchors that are going to be a bit more stamina draining patterns than, what some people would consider more comfortable.
This still looks something that you will easily tunnel vision through it, though.
Oh yeah, this is the textbook tunnel vision chart of the pool.
I'm liking this. I'm liking this pool a lot so far. Oh, this is a long no chart.
Long no chart. Watch out. We're introducing some hands. We might actually see some hand stream. I'm interested to see if those carry through to the
that would be
streams.
Okay, no, it doesn't.
Not quite. This looks like it's a little bit denser than the first half had been, but similar pattern structure with the trills and the anchors, more stamina draining stuff.
I'm liking those trills a lot.
This is going to be very good for AC. Trills are always good for accuracy, and I think this is going to be something similar to the kinds of things we saw on like Axel Grinder, where we saw teams getting like high 998s, some 999s. Same with Iterated at that rate.
Okay, this section is a bit tricky. This might be the hardest one on the chart, right?
I would say so. But it's right at the end. I mean, if your stamina's not here, this might end up being very difficult for you. Because this is definitely where your stamina's going to be at its worst.
Absolutely. But now into what I believe it's called. It speaks for itself. Rice wildcard.
Yes,
Apparently.
that is what this is called. This is the new rice pick, the sixth rice pick of the pool that was added, since there were only 5 in round of 32. So this is a bit of a different take on the kinds of things we were seeing in round of 32. And it's going to be One of None, a map by Aeolian Carp, Vizd from other games. I think I'm just going to call him Vizd.
8.7 OD, man. Oh boy.
8.7, another pretty tricky accuracy chart. Not quite 9.1 like Lawn Wake was, but this one is going to be, I think, a bit more mixed in terms of the kinds of things it's testing. We're seeing a lot of longer anchors and jacks throughout this, and some broken jump stream for this beginning. That being said, it's not that hard yet, I don't think.
No, not so far, at least. I like how you listen to this song and you're like, okay, I'm scared. Like, you're just scared. It's sometime it will blow up. It's Frums. At some point, everything will just...
polyrhythms.
Yeah, there it is. The poll is... Okay, now we're getting into the thing of the map. Let's go. Oh boy, it just doesn't stop.
Yeah, it looks like for the rest of this chart, we're not stopping.
Okay, there's a little bit of a break here, but that was a very challenging section.
Yeah, I think the biggest part of the difficulty of this chart is going to come from that OD.
Yeah,
making sure that you can get that accuracy.
Being able to control this map is going to be the hardest part. Those bursts over there, not bursts, right? More like dump streams, right? Or polyrhythms in general.
Polyrhythms is probably what I'd label that as, but classic Frums got those 1/3 with the 1/4 at the same time. But that's our last rice pick that we have. We're going into our final hybrid, classic Lemon Guy hybrid.
The Lemon hybrid, let's go.
Everyone knows what's coming when you see the words lemon and hybrid in the same map. I think it's fair to say you'll see some mini jacks. You'll see some interesting. Yeah. You'll see some unconventional LN patterns. Very different from things that anyone else in the game makes.
Unorthodox patterns.
Yeah, we're seeing jacks on the same at the same time as those LNs. Transitions between the mini jacks and the LNs. This is very much Lemon Guy.
I like how this looks so far, though. Okay, that can get a bit tricky. Those
those hand jacks.
Yep.
This is going to be probably the most all-rounded pick in the pool. There's a lot of different types of rice patterns in this that you're going to need to focus on.
This might be the most physically demanding chart of the pool, I think.
Potential. I think it's safe to say that this might be the hardest pick in the pool for many players. Not to mention OD8, so the LNs are not going to be very friendly to you as far as accuracy goes.
Woohoo! Even these transitions look a little bit difficult. Look at those hidden rises in the middle. Those can be very hard to hit.
Lots of accuracy drops in the future of the players here.
Oh, that was also... Oh, that was very rude. That trill! No! The Lacrima Trill!
No!
The Lacrima Trill! No!
There goes hybrid number 3 out, and we're into the final normal pick of the pool.
Oh, I have an SS on this map.
Good thing you're not playing in the tournament. Let's go.
No, I love this song. I really like this map as well. I think it had like one issue. I was complaining a lot about this. This was used on 4-digit Mania World Cup number 2, I think. Maybe it was the first one, but I'm not really sure.
I would
Banger song,
but
good
starts
map.
off with a slow jam here. It's 2 minutes and 37 seconds, so it's about the same length as Ruins was. Oh, that's interesting.
Yep. You gotta look at the editor because those snaps are not 1-4s.
Yeah,
I mean,
some
they
of
are,
those look
but-
like, yeah, that's really, it's gonna take a lot, I mean, maybe not a lot of practice, but it's gonna take getting used to those, like,
To the gimmick.
the gaps.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, here we're going to the harder part. This is the hardest section, I think, after this long note. Some of those trills can be a bit difficult because some of them anchor a little bit on one of the hands, and that is the most difficult part of the map, I believe. And the song is just so good.
OD of 7 on this, so not as strict as some of the other maps in the pool. Probably for good reason. SV Memo tends to be very difficult to get good accuracy on in general. Transition shouldn't be causing too much issue there.
And once you get to this portion, the rest of the chart is just pretty straightforward.
This is just about reading the right rhythm.
Yeah.
I think this is more straightforward than the rest of it for sure.
I'll argue this might be easier than the rhythm pick.
We'll have to see. I mean, last round the Ruins, I think, for a lot of people was harder than Disconnected. So, we'll have to see how this compares to Gimme the Blood and see how players exactly are able to tackle these two charts compared to each other.
Are you excited to show the tiebreaker?
Yeah, I am. I'm pretty excited.
Oh, boy.
That's the end of the SV pick. Tiebreaker. A map lots of people, I think, in this year's MWC are going to be quite familiar with. No SVs again, similar to last round. Sound Chimera. A map made by myself, used in Soft 5.
Before you say anything about this chart, the fact that Mysterion has 13 200s and 1 100 on this replay is something you should be scared of.
Yeah, this chart's hard.
This is, in my opinion, way too hard for round 16.
I don't know if it's way too hard. I think this
Okay,
could.
yeah, maybe
I
not way
could
too hard.
compare.
Yeah,
I could
it's
compare
hard.
the difficulty of this to what I would expect in quarterfinals for some picks.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fair kind of gauge for the difficulty. But what starts off the first minute's pretty simple. There's some weird patterns, but it's not physically demanding in any real way. What this chart begins essentially when the LN density part hits. There are also some slight edits compared to when this was used in Soft 5. So we're coming into a very trilly jump stream section, but like I said, this isn't that difficult. The streams, I think, the faster bit of streams can be difficult, and this transition can be very hard coming up. But these LNs are where the chart starts.
Yo, let's go. This is the easiest part of the chart. Don't have me.
Yeah, Juan says the LN part's the easiest part of the chart. What's new?
It is not though. This is really hard actually. I just struggle with this a lot.
But coming up to the more coordination-based section, I did change this as well from Soft. It's a bit easier to handle.
This is
easy
hard,
still.
No, this is really hard.
This is I think this is considered, like, for people who are not as strong as LNs, this is the hardest part of the chart.
It's just that the shields, man, the shields are so difficult there, especially if you have the shield on the same hand that you're holding a long note. That just requires so much coordination. It has a release component too. It's just overall a very difficult part of the kit.
Oh yeah, coming up to this part, I should mention, this is a collab with Gillermetsier. So that should explain what is going on in this little part.
If something is trying to get your attention,
But yeah, collab between myself and Gillermetsier. not much else to say. It's very, very balanced as far as like testing the LNs and the rice. Also, not Camellia hype.
Yo, let's go. You are not ready though.
And to go along with Jax being introduced in quarterfinals, we do have a small core Jax section here in this chart.
I like this part so much.
Song's really good.
Yeah. It's like I don't want to say anything because the song is so good.
Yes, it's hard to not want to enjoy the song.
Let's go. Time to speed.
Not speed. This is more tech. This is more LN tech.
Oh, true. Oh, that is that transitional. Yeah, this is the
Very tricky LNs here.
This reminds me a lot of you remember that section of Messenger 2012?
Yeah, I do.
It reminds me a lot.
Not quite as hard. There's no triple jacks in this one, but doesn't mean it's going to be any easier to coordinate as far as the level of this chart goes.
Absolutely not. There's the speed I was talking about.
Yeah, we're back to this now. A bit of a repeat of the earlier section.
Oof. 3, there we go.
And then another repeat section, the hard coordination section. And this is going to finish off the tiebreaker here. There's going to be some really interesting matches coming up this upcoming weekend, and I think this tiebreaker. I hope we see this tiebreaker.
Oh, I think we absolutely will. There are some matches next weekend that just have to be tiebreakers.
I'm really looking forward to it because I mean, round of 16
Malaysia,
this year
Japan?
especially. You know, always the first match after bracket stage starts. You know, you start getting the top and the high seeds together and the low and unseeded together, so that the matchups end up a lot closer. I'm excited for the round of 16.
And so am I. Like I said, there are some intense matches. Malaysia, Japan, Vietnam, Hong Kong, Philippines, Canada. Like Thailand, United Kingdom even would probably be a very fun match to watch. And on the losers bracket too, right? We have what do we have? Sweden, Poland's probably going to be very intense.
Yeah, Taiwan, Australia.
Australia, it's going to be very intense too. Even Peru, Belgium, I think will be pretty close.
Lots of really interesting matches we're going to be seeing, and definitely not a weekend that you guys are going to want to miss. So make sure to come back next weekend when the round of 16 matches start. With that, I should mention the schedule will be up relatively soon, within the next day or two, I would assume. Map pool will be updated in the server and on the wiki within the next day or two on the same schedule. Is there anything else you would like to say?
I mean, I just wish you all good luck, players, because the pools are starting to get harder. And, well, it was not the case for the round of 32, but be prepared, as the round 16 will feature the first elimination stage of the tournament.
Yes.
Well, rather than the qualifiers. There were some things that got eliminated too.
But 8 teams are going to be eliminated this upcoming week.
Yep, 8 teams are going to be knocked out of the tournament already, so excitement and nerves are going to go high this next week.
It's going to be an intense weekend. Also, before we close out, buy your banners, support your favorite teams in the OSU store. I have to shill before we head out for the weekend, but because I don't know how much we've been able to shill them yet, but got to make sure that people are supporting the tournament, supporting the team, supporting the prize pool for the players. But you can go to the OSU store, buy any banner for any team that's in the top 32. But yeah, that should be it.
Only $250. And remember that if you happen to pick the team that wins it all, your banner will stick for a little bit longer after the tournament concludes. So you may want to support your favorite team, but then you might want to be strategic and keep the banner for a bit longer. You might want to go for some that you believe is going to win it all. But in any way, shape, or form, we will appreciate it a lot if you help us supporting the tournament, funding the prize pool. But if you're not, it's also fine. We love your company anyway.
Just remember to come back for the next weekend of matches, and that will conclude our round of 32 weekend for the Mania World Cup 2021. See you guys next weekend.